Hello everybody and welcome to our weekly update for English as a medium of instruction for academics. I am Rob.
And I'm Mary.
And you've probably seen us from the videos that are slightly more professionally done than this one.
Yeah.
But this is a nice chance for us to just reflect on the week's interactions, what people have been saying, some interesting themes that have come up. And yes, we'll have a nice chance to interact with you.
Yes.
So please do comment either on this step if you've got something to say about what we've said, or if you have questions that you want us to pick up on in the following week, please comment on the next week's video update.
Yes.
So we can have a conversation around what you want us to talk about.
Yes.
Thank you.
And you can even think ahead to week 3, when in fact in week 3 this will be a live discussion. And we're looking to have some really nice questions from you that we can talk about, and we'll have a little bit more time then. It'll be a longer stretch of time than the video update today and next week. So be thinking ahead to week 3, what questions would you like to ask us? Not that we're the experts. I mean, I'd like to make that clear from the start. You are the experts, we're just the facilitators, but we like to talk a lot.
Absolutely.
Yes, yeah. On EMI subjects.
Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of talking a lot,
Talking a
would
lot.
you like to talk some more, Mary?
I'm going to talk some more, yes. And I'm going to talk to you about really the way we want you to use the MOOC. I'm not so much talking about the content, but the way we want you to interact with us and with one another. And that's the important thing, interacting with one another, not just us. As I said, we're the facilitators. It's not too late if you have colleagues or friends who would like to join this course. As you know, it lasts 4 weeks, but people are still joining, and if previous courses are anything to go by, people join on the last day. But that's okay, because there's another 2 weeks after the course has nominally finished, during which, you know, it's there, it's open, and we still do interact with people. So it's not too late for your colleagues to join us. And if it's really not a good time of the year for your colleagues, there will be another run of this course, our 7th run in the autumn, in October. Can't give you the date yet, but it is going to run again. So that's once again something to plan ahead for if you have, say, a group of colleagues and you'd like to work through our MOOC together as a group and discuss with one another as a group in the autumn. You know, so we're just giving you these ideas for you to discuss and think what fits in with your plans for the next academic year.
I was also going to add that likewise we would encourage you to look back, so particularly look at steps that you're interested in that really relate to your role or that relate to issues that you find particularly engaging, and to go back, because people will be following you. If you're watching this in week 1, there will be people who are watching this in week 4 or 5, but they might be adding particular insightful comments, perhaps relating to a similar context to your own. So do try to look back, particularly at the steps that you found interesting, to see what other people are saying. Like we said, the conversation is as valuable as the content, more valuable than the content.
I think so. I think it is. Yeah. And about the you know, the way we work with one another, the way we interact. If you write something in one of the discussion areas, it's lovely if somebody acknowledges that, even if it's with a simple like or just yes, I agree with you. Because if nobody acknowledges what you've written, then you kind of feel that you're communicating with a void. It's lovely when you write something to get a bit of feedback. So if we really can encourage you, just in, you know, the simplest ways to hit the like button or just make a simple comment, that's fine. And this, you know, is a really nice feeling for the person who's written the comments in the first place, that they're being read and people are noticing them.
Yeah.
That's so important for our feelings of being acknowledged.
Yeah, and we come on to that in weeks 3 and 4 about the non-verbal aspects of communication and how important they are. And when you're online, you can't see people responding, you can't see people listening to you, so it can become demotivating when you've put lots of effort into a comment and then you think, has anyone read it? So yeah, we do encourage you to think about that and try to engage with other people.
Yes.
And it's a small, quite a nice small group of people who are contributing, and it's a nice opportunity this year. Because sometimes we've had, say, 300 comments, and it's very difficult to go through what 300 people are talking about in one conversation. So I think here we could have a nice little network of people listening to each other, and it would be ideal. So
yeah, and can I say how impressed Rob and I are with the length and the quality of the comments that are already appearing in the discussion areas. This is fantastic. It is noticeably better than some other runs, and we'd love to keep that momentum going throughout the course. So if you're a bit shy about commenting, take the risk, just put a little comment in. The person who then wrote the original comment that you're replying to will feel good about it, and you possibly may gain more confidence in yourself this way. And if you haven't commented so far on anything, go ahead. We're a lovely group already, and I'm certainly enjoying it, and I think Rob is as well. Are you enjoying it?
very much.
Good,
of course.
good. So we all want to have this lovely experience together that will not only take us forward in our thinking about EMI and related issues, but just be a good experience, an enjoyable experience for everybody, and give you that feeling of commitment and pleasure and wanting to go forward with your studies and your teaching. That would be wonderful. Yeah.
Yes.
What else did we have to say about housekeeping and so on? That's about it, really. We've mentioned some of the lovely comments already, and we do want to single out a few people who've been really wonderful at contributing already. We've got Carol and John, and I think there are 2 Johns actually. There's Christina. Eduardo has been contributing a great deal. Thank you, Eduardo. Liliana, Hung, Claire, Fanta, Mario. I don't know whether it's Luciana or Luciana. I don't know the pronunciation. Alex, a lovely comment from May, Fern, Yap, and please don't feel offended if I haven't mentioned your name. There are, lots of people contributing, and I'm sure we'll mention your name next week or on one of the upcoming occasions. Okay, Rob would like to just go into 1 or 2 themes that have come up during the week. So over to you, Rob.
Thank you. So particular points of interest were, it's very common on every run of the MOOC. We have people who are in compromised positions. So for example, the university or the educational institution has a plan to be more international, but they're not there yet. The students' proficiency level might be in question. The amount of training that teachers have done, that educators are going to do, or their own level of English might be seen as a challenge for lots of people. So there's a lot of that, and that's very common. There's been a lot of discussion about the choice of English. So should English be the dominant language? Are we contributing to global power relations through English? Should we be favouring multilingualism over the dominance of one language? And it's a very interesting discussion. I don't want to give a definitive view, and I often find that the context dictates what best practice would look like. So for example, I commented earlier that bilingual education is difficult when people don't share that second language. So you might be teaching in Japan but lots of the class don't actually speak Japanese, so teaching through English and Japanese might not work there, but it might work much better in another context. So that's very interesting.
That's very good. Can I interrupt you?
Oh, yes.
Luciana or Luciana sort of encapsulated this, saying it's really important to be critical about EMI, CLIL, internationalisation, etc., and to bear in mind our local context, our students' needs, cultural differences, among others, when planning our lessons and courses. What I mean is that we should not take a model coming from a certain country, university, and think it will work as well as it does over there without adjustments. Unfortunately, some school principals, coordinators and even professors think so. And that is such an important point. Although we're sharing these experiences, as I said way back today, you are the experts in your context and you have to make the decisions, what's right for you.
Yeah.
So we can only share and learn from one another, but then it's our responsibility to adapt and make those choices for our students and our situation.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And there are certainly no, that's constructive interruption.
I didn't want Luciana's contribution to be missed.
Of course not.
That sort of encapsulated such a lot. That's important.
But I was going to say the importance of context, and lots of people get frustrated in education in general when they say, what's the answer? What do we do? And it's so important to recognise the dangers of standardisation, particularly English and internationalisation in universities. There's a real danger that comes with people thinking there is one way to do it. There is one way that assessment should be conducted, because it will inevitably cause damage and it will not be the best way everywhere. So this is why it's very important to listen to people's stories and work out why one solution might cause a problem in another context. I found it interesting on the scenario step. We had what steps would you go to implement an EMI program in your context? And one thing that wasn't prioritised perhaps was students. And I think for me, this is where a course works or it doesn't work, it mostly relates to not the teachers, but the students. What do the students need? What does the course provide for the students? What are the learning objectives at hand, and how can the students meet those objectives? So without answering those questions, really as educators, we're very constrained in what we can recommend, because if it doesn't work for the students, it doesn't work.
No, it doesn't at all. And this is where a needs analysis with students, whatever form that takes, is so important at the beginning of a course, even prior to a course, if it's at all possible, just to find out have some idea of what's going on in the students' heads, and what they think they want, need, are coming for, and what we think we might be delivering. Do the two map onto one another? And if they don't, what steps are we going to take to help the two match up? Yeah.
And within that context, we're talking about English, but English exists in a communicative setting. So sometimes what students can't do through spoken language, they might do through other media. So solutions are never just based in language. But two quotes.
Two quotes, okay.
Our quotes of the week.
These wonderful quotes of the week. We do it every course.
I think Luciana, I'm going to steal your praise of Luciana.
Yes.
She had two quotes for me. So you live a new life for every language you speak, which is a Czech proverb apparently. And again, emphasising the importance of language.
Yeah.
But I like the notion that we have to be in the game and know how we are playing it. Sorry, we have to be in the game and know we are playing it. So that's an important aspect. So as educators, we're not doing it independently. We have a role that we have to do set by our institution, but we have to be aware of this game we are playing and the implications of our decision.
I think the metaphor of a game is a good one to use in this context, and might be good to keep that in our foremost in our minds.
Prioritising the activity and the goal.
What's
and
the other
Eduardo
quotation?
is the... So teaching is a calling and not a trade.
Yes.
I like that one because that sums up so much of what we're talking about. that there is not one answer. We are not one homogenous group of teachers, and certainly the students are not a homogenous group of students. So, those will win my quote of the week, I think.
Okay, have you got another one?
I've got another one. The richness of cultures is given in their mother tongue. So not only one language rules the world. And that's very important. Even if we're operating through English, we should not devalue other languages, because they are an important part of people's lives and of the knowledge that we're engaging with around the world. So absolutely important points.
Yeah. Do you have anything else in your little book, Rob, that you would like to speak about?
I think people have heard from me enough, Mary. That's fine. Do you have any wise words to finish us off?
No, I
Blank
turned the page and it is blank. I have covered most of the points I wanted to say today, and I think Rob has. And we have been talking for quite some time. So I think it's the moment to draw things to a close.
And say thank you if you are still listening. Thank you for still listening.
If you're still listening, yes, thank you very, very much indeed. And we really look forward to seeing you next week.
Absolutely.
All right? So
thank you.
bye-bye for now.
See you in week 2.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.